Joule is one of the most popular hunters in Supervive due to her very fun and rewarding gameplay. She is not the easiest hunter to pick up as a beginner, but in return her DPS potential can be insanely high. In this video we will discuss everything about her kit, her build options, combos and powers most suitable for her playstyle. In general, her playstyle is focused around her passive. Joule's passive applies a stack of static to her enemies every time she deals damage to them, stacking up to a maximum of 4. Dashing through an enemy with 4 stacks removes them, dealing tons of damage and resetting your dash's cooldown. Her first ability, Voltaic Spear, launches a linear projectile that damages and knocks back the first enemy it hits, with its range dependent on the charge time. Knockback enemies who collide into other players or terrain will also be stunned. Additionally, landing Voltaic Spear on an enemy player will also spawn a lightning orb, which will reset the cooldown of your dash ability when you pick it up. More on that later. Moving on to Joule's signature move, her dash Surge. As described on the tooltip, holding and releasing Surge will dash you forward while Incorporeal, which means you cannot be hit, damaging every enemy that passes through. The third level upgrade of the spell will multiply its base damage by 150%, making it our go-to option for most scenarios. Passing through an enemy with less than 4 stacks will just apply damage and 1 additional stack to them. Lightning Strike is her third ability, which you can aim, hold, rotate and release to cast a delayed ground AoE. This AoE will toss your targets towards the aim direction, grounding them, which means they cannot use dash, and of course applying damage to them. Finally, before we move to the combo section, we have her ultimate Thunderstorm. Using Thunderstorm will launch yourself into the air, render you invulnerable. Reactivating it will crash you to the target location, knocking back and of course damaging all enemies hit. The best part about her ultimate is that it will spread the highest stack count from one enemy to every other target it hits. For example, right here I applied 3 stacks on the middle creep, and after I landed my ultimate on it, those stacks are now spread through the entire camp. Now that we have a solid understanding of her skill set, let's dive into some potential combos. The fastest way to apply the maximum amount of damage before acquiring your ultimate is to first use Lightning Strike to apply the first stack and get your target out of position, then apply 1 auto attack and Voltaic Spear before the target is able to move, quickly dash through him to apply the 4th stack while picking up the lightning orb that Voltaic Spear has spawned to reset your dash ability cooldown. Right after you land, use your dash once again to proc your passive and the combo is complete. By the time I was making this video, Voltaic Spear orb effect doesn't seem to be working on the stationary practice dummy, so keep that in mind. Anyway, if you execute this combo correctly, not only you can apply tons of damage, but you can also escape back to where you began. Of course, in the heat of the battle, you will have to adjust your combos as needed. The key thing I want you to remember, however, is that when your dash is on cooldown, you can use Voltaic Spear to trigger the orb, pick it up and then escape or make all kind of plays. After acquiring your ulti, you can use an additional trick that guarantees you landing your dash ability. After you have applied 3 stacks on your target, use your ultimate ability in a way to be able to anticipate where will he be knocked back, so you can pass through him with your dash ability while he is still airborne. The maximum amount of damage you can deal on a teamfight will also be available through your ultimate. As I've mentioned, landing your ultimate will transfer the stacks from the enemy with the most stacks to every other enemy it hits. This means if you manage to land 3 stacks on the target and then crash into them with your ultimate, it will apply 4 stacks to that target and everyone else around it, enabling you to dash through all of them even one by one. The quadra kill potential of this play is extremely high, making Joule one of my favorite hunters to play, especially in arenas. Lastly, since your ultimate renders you invulnerable, you can always use it to disengage from a tight spot. Moving on to some item recommendations, the things here aren't that much complicated. Picking up Interweaver and Rampage as the game recommends to you, it's the way to go, with only viable alternative to swap Mana Blade with Mind Blade. Interweaver offers the base stats you need, along with a passive that boosts your normal attack damage after landing an ability. Similarly, Rampage provides essential mana and mana regeneration, paired with a passive that synergizes very well with Joule's frequent use of both abilities and regular attacks. Mind Blade is a viable alternative to Mana Blade if you obtain it early and successfully stack it by landing 10 spells on enemies, granting you some additional ability power. Moving on to powers, let's have a look at the best powers you should be looking for as a beginner. The combination of Green Thumb and Berry Eater is very solid option for every occasion, allowing you to heal while in tight spot and continue fighting. For those who are not familiar with the combo, Green Thumb will spawn bushes around you, while Berry Eater's passive will consume those bushes to heal you for 6% of your HP. One of the best powers that is also very beginner friendly is the Abyss Specialist. This little cloud will grant you a passive ability that will allow you to cast your dash while above the abyss without triggering its cooldown. Since Joule's dash is her main source of damage, having a free dash to chase your opponents makes it extremely viable to her. For more advanced plays that might require you to break a finger or two, we have Bungee Shot that will stun 2 targets if you manage to hit them in succession, and Grappling Hook that will allow you to gap close or disengage without using your dash ability. And that's pretty much it, everything you need to know about Joule as a beginner. If you want to see more videos like this on your homepage, make sure to leave a like for the algorithm, or even better, leave a sub to help the channel grow. As always, thank you for watching and see you on the next video.